Right, so Gareth, we're here at the premiere. We were just talking about this yesterday. How have things changed for you emotionally?
Guys, doing an interview now, yeah.
How have things changed for you emotionally since last night, since we were talking?
Not much different, to be honest. Still rushing around, still making sure everything's done and is ready, and still a bit surreal. Still terrified.
How much sleep did you get last night?
None. Not really. Because basically I have to go and take my son to school.
You forgot about that today, didn't you?
Yeah, I forgot to pick my son up today. That's how stressed. And yeah, I got a phone call from Christy. He was there for extra half an hour.
Left him on the doorstep.
But well, hopefully he might have learnt some extra stuff. A bit of extracurricular. Didn't do no harm. So, but yeah, I was meant to go there first thing, and I told me to set an alarm. I didn't even set an alarm because I knew I wasn't going to get any sleep. So I was up at 5 o'clock. I was so on time this morning. So didn't stay that way, but it started well. But yeah, no sleep, and hopefully tonight lots of sleep though.
What message did you want to send out to the autistic community with this film?
That just be proud of yourself and who you are, because it's part of your personality, and if you try to take that away, you wouldn't be you, basically. And it doesn't mean that everyone out there who doesn't understand autism is a bad person, as we find out in this film. Some people just need that bit of education to understand what it's like, and sometimes until you're actually around someone with autism, you couldn't possibly know how to act or to understand, the more sensitive side to it. So there's no harm in asking questions and asking sort of how should I be treating these people, because until you've been in that situation, you honestly don't know. So
Fantastic. And obviously, if you paid attention to the live show, the BBFC rating was quite an ordeal. You had to physically take the film down to London, give it to them, and you wait for today. Have we got a rating?
We have got a rating.
Just in time.
We've got a rating. So we've got a rating. We're PG. So apparently there's some issues with not issues, but it's been rated as Luke, how is it worded?
Discrimination and infrequent mild bad language. About half an hour ago when you said we weren't to tell anyone.
Well, we haven't done that. The other.
This isn't live, is it?
So infrequent mild language and discrimination apparently. But that's because I think it's a film about not being discriminatory, but in terms of to tell that story, you've got to start somewhere where there is a bit of discrimination going on, even if it's accidental and it just ignorance.
This is how not to treat people.
Exactly. So you've got to set that up and then come back from it. So, but Izzy works it out in the end, bless her. So she gets there.
Speaking of Izzy, should we speak to some of the cast? Who would you like to bring up first?
It's her last night, so let's get Christy up first. Come on.
She's like, no, don't do it. But yes, come on up.
It's her last time doing this, so. And her first, weirdly, but right. I'll hand over to you,
Christy. This sounds such a cliche thing, but this was such a long process, years in the making.
Quite a few years.
How does it feel to actually be here? See that up on the screen?
A bit mad, to be fair.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we never thought it was going to happen, and then we sort of started this thing 2 months ago, and now it's happening. So it's kind of years, but then again, it's sort of a couple of months, and now we're here. So it's kind of been really fast and really slow at the same time.
What do you reckon tomorrow's going to look like for you guys? Just sleep, that's it.
I wish I've got to go to work.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I wish I could sleep.
Well, after this is all done, then, so next week, whatever, when this is all over and done with. Is it a bit more? Is that a time to relax, or are you going to actually miss having something to work on?
Yeah, I think I will miss it, but at the end of I think I'll be glad for a break. I'll be quite happy to sort of have nothing to do and just sort of chill for a bit.
As far as deadlines are concerned, this was quite hardcore, wasn't it? You needed to
a little bit.
Get it all done week by week.
Yeah.
Are you going to miss the character?
Yeah, of course I am. I've been doing it since I was 17. I got the part. And now I'm going to be 24 in a month. So that's a long time to have one part. Normally you get a part, you do it for a few months and then you stop and that's it. You go on to the next part. But this one has literally been years and years. So yeah, of course. And
Gareth was just saying this is your last night, but maybe down the future, is there anything that you'd like to do with Rocking Horse or with acting? Is there something down the road for you?
Yeah, I don't think I can ever get away from Rocking Horse, really. I've been a part I'm a part of the furniture now. I think I probably will be back at some point. Maybe if they have me, I don't know.
So there's
some future roles. We'll have to see what happens.
I'm sure we can figure something.
Well, thank you for chatting to me today.
It's
I
all
hope
right.
you enjoy tonight, and maybe we'll get like some questions after you've seen it and see how you feel about it all.
Okay.
Thank you for chatting to me. Who should we
It's okay.
invite up next?
Come on, Orla. Let's do it.
It's like a baton, isn't it?
Passing the torch.
How's it going, Izzy? Orla, Izzy, Orla. It feels like we've been like doing this for so, it's not even that long, but so frequently and so in such a compact space that you are Izzy now. You know.
Yeah, I mean, there's a line between Orla and Izzy, but it's a fine line. But obviously, like, I'll work out those things down the road when we come to filming the pilot and things. But yeah, I mean, Gareth called me Izzy numerous times.
It's gonna happen.
Out with set and stuff. I don't think I have any messages addressing me as Izzy yet, but I'll give it time.
Have you learned anything from Izzy as a character?
Yes, I have. I've learned that at the end of the day, you've got to embrace your own personality, your own instincts, because without you doing that, what can you give from other people and what can you take from other people? You know, giving people support and being able to support yourself, you can't do that unless you understand what you need to work on as a person. I think Izzy really gets that.
How has this feature film set you up for what's going to be a good few weeks, months, rehearsing, getting ready for the care home drama? How has this set you up? Has it exhausted you? Has it excited you? How are you feeling about it?
It's excited me. Obviously, I don't think I mentioned it enough. I have a background in theatre rather than film.
I'm a thespian.
Exactly. So being able to do this has actually kind of set me up in a really kind of comfortable way, where I'm not terrified anymore of the idea of filming throughout the summer. I think at first I was a bit like, oh my gosh, only a few months to do a film. How on earth am I going to manage that? Whereas now I'm like, oh, I did it in 4 days. Easy, absolutely easy. So, but
Give
yeah,
me
no.
anything, darling. We've just had another cast member just land behind us.
We have.
Have you got a message for the people that you worked with in your cast and crew?
I can't thank them all enough. They made it really easy to just kind of settle into my role and what my job was. You know, everyone had a place and a job to do, and we all did it. And I don't think the 4 days would have been as easy as they were. I think there could have been a real issue if people hadn't stuck with it. So thank you for sticking with it.
Yeah, I was there for the 1 day, and I can tell you guys now that it was very intense. It was at one point. It was kind of like, we're not going to get this done. Then you had Luke just breaking everything in the set. It was just
Yep.
That corner. I moved out of that corner.
Well, we'll find a good corner for you today because we've just had another cast member behind me. Dean, would you want to come and have a quick chat with me?
Here you
I want to
go.
thank you so much for chatting to me.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoy tonight.
Thank you.
Here's Aled himself, Mr. Dean.
Hello.
How are you, sir?
Yeah, good. Thanks. How are you?
How does this feel?
Interesting. Yeah, it's actually. I was saying to my girlfriend yesterday, it's actually the first premiere I've ever been to. Every time something's come out, I've not been available. It's just been too far away. So, yeah, this is the first one. So it's a bit surreal, you know.
I've just asked. I knew you said Izzy then. Just had, there you go. I've just asked all a really interesting question. Have you learned anything from Aled as a character?
Well, I have actually. I've realised. So I was saying this to all. I was like, we're dangerously similar as people, and I don't really like it, because you know, like, I don't want it to be that I'm just being Dean on screen, you know. But it was great just to, you know, this accidental feature film, you know, that I could be Aled and, you know, delve into him more than I already have, because obviously I've only worked with him during an audition process, you know, so that was nice to, you know, actually jump in just to get the message being like, yo, Do you know what I mean? Do you want to be Aled
Yeah.
for this? You know, and it was great. I really enjoyed it.
And obviously, we're building up now to the care home drama that's going to be filmed. It's going to take weeks. How has this prepared you for what's going to be quite a steady schedule of filming and rehearsing?
Well, yeah. Whatever Gareth throws our way, I feel like I'll be ready for it. I think this is.
You've got no choice as far as Gareth's concerned. He's just like,
exactly.
You're doing this. You're
Yeah,
be there.
exactly. And I think the feature film. I didn't realise we'd have a luxury of doing a feature film before doing the care home drama. So it's not so much as a rehearsal, but I basically got an amazing free run at being Aled before the care home drama, you know, and it's been great.
It must have been nice because I think with the care home drama, I guess it's going to be broken up into smaller little bits that you can do, you know, because it'll be episodes. Whereas the films, it was just 4 days of just intense filming, you know. How are you feeling about people seeing you on the big screen? Your face is going to be up there.
I'm more bothered about how I don't know. I think you always cringe a bit when you see yourself, and I
yeah, I get that.
Do you know what I mean? I feel like you know, it's just getting over the original bit of worry, like, it's me, it's only on screen, you know. But no, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be great, you know, and working with everyone. It's it's been brilliant.
Well, I hope you have a great evening.
Thank
it's always
you.
great chatting to you.
And yourself.
Is there anybody else who's like to come up? I don't think we've spoken yet before, so come on up.
Yeah.
Let's.
So we've got these two to do it together.
Yes. So we've never met before.
I'm Betty.
What's your name? Sorry.
Betty.
Betty.
Yeah.
And what role have you had in this, Betty?
So at the very last scene, it's like my introduction of the new Jess. That's basically it.
Nice. Okay. And how has this been as a process for you? Have you learned a lot from this?
Yeah, it's been very crazy, because obviously playing an autistic character, I've had to learn a lot, and it's educated me a lot more as well. But yeah, it's crazy really.
When it comes to doing things on a day-to-day, obviously Gareth has a very similar approach to sort of what I do. Just throw him in the deep end. Just chuck him in front of the camera, go. Do you like that approach, or do you prefer to take things a bit easier?
I mean, I can work with it, I guess, but I don't know, I like to feel prepared, I guess, you know. But yeah.
I guess with this sort of situation, you get to learn to improvise a lot, you know.
Yeah.
And there's a lot that can be learned from this. But you already now you're here at cinema with a premiere with all this on the screen. How does that feel?
It's I think a lot like how I don't know.
Dean?
Yeah,
Dean?
how Dean said, yeah. Watching, my mum will disagree, but when I'm watching myself, it's gonna make me cringe,
And how's Betty been to work with?
So, well, we've worked a little bit, haven't we? But not much. But that's a future endeavour. So me and Betty will be working quite closely, obviously with you becoming the new Jess, and there'll be a lot of Izzy, not versus Jess, but Izzy and Jess.
I remember them. They were from a thing.
Yeah. So in the care home drama, there's going to be some crossover there. But you've got a lot of screen time to come, haven't you? Which is exciting. So.
Fantastic. Well, I've got to tell you, I feel like this Rocking Horse family is growing more and more. We've been doing this for about 6 months now, the Shrewsbury Biscuit and Rocking Horse, and I think you're part of a great crew, and I think you've got some great things to look forward to. So, welcome to the team, and it's nice to meet you, and I look forward to speaking to you soon.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else that would like to chat?
Just very quickly, and then we can move on then to Carl, is if we could get Christy up with these two, just because, the two Jesses, we're not going to get to see this again. So, let's be honest.
The two Jesses. You're free
My voices go.
free mics and free voices. Okay, so Jess, how does it feel to Christy? How does it feel to pass on the torch to the next Jess?
In a way, it's quite nice. I'm not gonna lie. Obviously, I've been doing it for a long time. So, yeah, I think I'm passing it to someone that I want to pass it to, which is nice. I'm not doing it like, yeah, there you go, you can have it, whatever. It's like, yeah, okay, I'm done now.
You're going to want to bang this locker to open it kind of thing,
yeah.
you know? Yeah.
No, I think it's a nice thing.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And how does it feel to have someone playing a role that you played for so long? Is it going to feel weird seeing someone? Would you be like watching and going, no, I wouldn't have done it like that? Or is it kind of nice in a way that you're going to see someone doing something different with the role?
It's weird, but I'm quite glad that the character's like still going. That makes sense. I'm quite glad to see it carry on. Like, I'm too old now anyway, so without Betty doing it, that'd mean Jess going.
You have no right saying you're too old for anything, by the way.
Well, I'm not 17 anymore. So.
And likewise, Betty, thank you for this all.
I feel like a very glamorous assistant holding this mic, I'm not gonna lie.
How does it feel taking the role from Christy and doing your own version of it? How does that feel? Do you feel like you've got to pay respects to the character, or?
Well, yeah, it's like big responsibility to live up to, I guess, because she's had it for so long, and like, I don't know, I'm excited to do it, but I want to, as much as I want to take how Christy's played it, I want to make it my own too.
So you should, and I think you're going to do a great job. Well, we've got a movie premiere to come up, haven't we? So we best get moving. But thank you so much for everybody chatting to me today. And this is going to be great.
Happy days. There you go.
Right, so ladies and gentlemen, how did you feel about that? By a round of applause. How did you enjoy it? I think I'll start off by congratulating these guys. I know you guys were up against it with time. But from what we saw, you did a great job. Does anybody have any questions that they'd like to ask? The blue shirt at the back there.
Shout.
Nice and loud, sir. Don't have to be shy. I'll tell you what, I'll do a bit of talking, right? And you think about what you want to say, and we'll come back to you. How does it feel seeing that back? Ola's got the mic.
I do.
So, Ola.
It was good. I'm a bit more nervous now, though. Yeah. I get nervous after things, but I was just really excited in the fact that it all came together, which was, believe me, when I left set 10 o'clock that last day of filming, I was like, oh god. But it all came together really nicely, so I'm proud of everyone.
Luke, you saw that come together. You had a lot. You were involved an awful lot with that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad to say it was worth it, because it involved staying in a house with director and sound person and camera person for about 5 days, which no one needs. Nor do they need me. It culminated in me having too many sherbet lemons and throwing up in Gareth's sink. But
I'm trying to forget that.
I did get him running.
But that's a story for another time. But no, after all these kind of I don't know what I'm looking up for, there's nothing there. After all of these kind of stressful at times days, and these sometimes nearly midnight phone calls with Gareth before production where it's like, hang on, we need to sort this out and we need to fix this, it's fair to say it's happened, and I think it will take my brain at least a week to come to terms with that and calm down, which doesn't leave much time before we get into the pilot. So so keep an eye on our mental health, guys.
I doubt they'll notice.
We got NASA on the end there. What are your thoughts on what you just saw? Did you enjoy it?
Hello. It was an experience. I think just watching it back and stuff, it brought back so many memories of just filming and such, like, you know, family ship and just all these challenges and stuff we overcome, and I'm just super proud to have seen it and to have been part of it. So yeah, it sets things up for the future really nicely, I think.
Beautifully said. Can we pass the torch to Christy?
Passing it back already.
No more.
I talked to you before this, and I said I'd speak to you afterwards.
Yes.
How are you feeling now after seeing that? I thought you were brilliant, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Really good. So.
Yeah. We did it, guys. We made a film. That happened. We can breathe now. We tried to breathe now. Yeah. I hope you all enjoyed it. It was quite funny watching it back, to be fair, because loads of hours like on set and that, and I just sat there thinking to myself, I hate that line. that took about an hour. But I'm really glad it's done and we got to actually like see it for real.
It's there now. It just exists. Yeah. Gareth. So there's so much turmoil throughout all of this. Obviously, there's the losses with Jack, obviously, and
yes,
there were storms. There were delays. There was you running back into from London to carry things. And
that's a story.
Yeah. There was that too. And obviously, it was these guys deserve. Well, everyone involved. The people sat in the audience. Got our AD at the back. We've got my assistant sat a few rows in front and stuff. Some of the people have worked fantastically hard to get it here. Nigel is at the back there. Nigel, he works at Cartridge World, and the reason we got him in the pan shot was I was on the last day before we were about to start filming. And he says to me, because I was going to him to get my ink cartridge from a printer to print off the scripts that these girls get to bring to life, and he said to me, Gareth, you're finally there. And I was like, and I stopped and I thought, do you know what, Nigel, you've earned this. So I was like, come on, Nigel. I said, we're going to do this pan shot. I'm going to have all these people that have been affected by Christie's Jess and then all as Izzy more recently over many years, whether they've been, like you saw the Grim Reaper was in one of those shots from a film we shot where there was a Grim Reaper. Jess wasn't meant to have died, just so we're clear. That wasn't what we were going for. But so there was this range of different actors or crew members that we've worked with right the way through to then we had obviously Quinn, who's going to be one of the stars of the upcoming care home drama as well. So she features in that. So that was nice. It had this range of people, and so even the guy from Cartridge World, who is so much more than that.
Was it worth it? Oh, definitely,
yeah. Why'd you do it again?
I mean, personally, after. Obviously, which everyone's been so nice and no one's actually going to say it. So I'll address the elephant in the room, because I don't have a filter anyway, and come out and say it. My pan shot was probably my favourite scene because there wasn't any dialogue in it. Because I'm not sure what happened there between the office and the cinema, but clearly there was some issue somewhere.
We'll sort that before the TPS.
Yeah. So Chloe, this is for, not for you personally because you know what you're doing, but just in general to people, anyone watching this who is looking at how to make films and what to work on and things. If you watch that back carefully, then there's a little thing just for you students out there to work out how you can do it differently in terms of syncing up audio, because something's gone clearly wrong there. But other than that, because it worked fine in the office, and I mean, me and Luke have been sending scenes back to each other for the last week.
I think it's something to do with MTSC and PAL, and we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But this is one of the things.
Hang on.
This is one of the things I wanted to bring up. Is there anything that you will take from that you can now improve on to go forward? What you're going to make with Rockin' Horse?
Yeah, I mean that issue isn't one of them because genuinely that was all done. So that shouldn't have happened. In 8 years, I have managed to work out how to sync audio up, believe it or not.
Thank you, no one for leaving, by the way.
But so there's that. But you do learn from setbacks and stuff, and the fact that we've got to a point between me and Christy that we've got to a point when we put a feature film on a screen, and the only thing that's gone wrong is something within that screening, and the fact that it became a film in the first place. That's still a big step for us, isn't it? You know. The issue's always been not is the film any good, is that there isn't one, and now there is. So that's a big step, and like you said, hopefully now we can build on that and make something even better.
And I think you've probably just answered it, but maybe you can elaborate it on a bit more. Say there are film students in here, there are people that are sitting on an idea, and they want to, avoid having to wait 8 years to make this thing.
Don't bring it to me, Al.
What advice would you give them?
Don't give up. Don't listen to people who tell you that you can't do it. But no, that's not quite true. Listen to them, because they're the people that will get you over the line. It's the ones that, obviously, we love the ones that support us, because I'm stood alongside a few of them now, and there's a load of them in this. You wouldn't be in this room unless you were one of them. But also listen to the ones who say that you can't do it, because if you watch this film, even out of sync, it should be fairly clear to work this bit out. This is a film about a character that we were told we couldn't bring to life. we were told that we're not good enough to make a film. We're not good enough to bring Jess Andrews to life. And without that criticism, this script doesn't get written. So it's not just a massive middle finger. It's not, I promise. There's a lot more positive stuff going on too. But without those critics, we didn't get to make Izzy vs Jess. So I want to thank every single person. I look in the camera when I say that. I want to thank every single person that ever criticised us, ever said that I was a madman for trying to make a feature film, because I owe it all to you. And I know that must probably infuriate a lot of people, but genuinely, without that, we wouldn't be here now. So the supporters, the critics, every single one of you, we wouldn't be here without you. So thank you.
Can I just add to that briefly? Sorry.
Pass the mic along.
Terrible audio. I was sat in my A-level film class today, and we were analysing a film in which it took 9 years to get from idea to finished thing. And I text Gareth and I said, "Well done, you did it in 8." And I think, quite frankly, if there are films that took 9 years, that a few years down the line there are students sat there analysing it and going through the process, then I think your 8 years is a heck of a story. Because it's all that's gone into this. I mean, as we found in the fact that I'm only halfway through editing that documentary and it's already crossed the feature-length line, which is weird. The fact that there is so much like that just into this film, there is so much more into Run for Your Life, there is so much more into Henry House, and as I think I touched on in that documentary, it is so personal to you that it's insane that you took this character, you took the most personal film you could have made, and there were people on our set who had no idea who Jess Andrews was, and who at the end of the shooting day was invested in the story and asking you questions. And I think that deserves a round of applause, frankly.
Is there any members of the crew? Oh, we got one here. Question.
If you let me tie your tie, you don't have to give me your train fare. Give it here.
But now you can see why I couldn't have it done up, because of the,
Yeah, I know, but it's doing my idea.
Yeah.
Is there anybody with a serious question? Any members of the crew? No?
Oh, yes.
Is the care home drama that you're going to do, is that like an old person's care home or a children's care home, or what type of care home?
That is a fantastic question. I'm going to pass it to the newly confirmed lead of the show to answer that question.
So it's... Oh, God, I'm going to get this wrong now. So from what I gather, and from what has been discussed, it's a care home of people who need full-time care in whatever capacity that may be. Obviously, people of older age, people who unfortunately have dementia or Alzheimer's, people who have mobility issues, but also people who have learning difficulties, who can't cope with kind of being left on their own, people who need that full-time care. And obviously, as all of us are aware of what happened with COVID, a lot of these care homes were kind of left to the side. A lot of safe...
Sorry, we're just laughing at this tie.
Just take it off. Obviously, during COVID and everything, there was a lot of carers and nurses who were obviously our front line of staff, working for the NHS, who were left to just figure things out for themselves, whether they could go into people's houses, or whether they had to take people out of their houses and into care home facilities like what Henry House will be. So it's kind of touching upon that side of things. So obviously when people say care home, the first thing I thought of was an old folks home, but that's not what it's going to be. It's about everyone who needs care.
Very good answer.
Slogan for Henry House.
That's why I got you to do it.
In other words, yes. Just yes. What I wanted to say was, we talk about this thing that was 8 years in the making, but I don't think it's necessarily this thing that I'm super excited about. It's what comes afterwards.
Yeah.
The legacy that you've created. It wasn't that long ago I stood here with Luke Allen's film Reduced to Clear, talking about this amalgamation of creators.
That 10 minutes took 18 months, and then you had to go and make a feature film in 8 weeks.
Yeah.
But look what's happening. So this amalgamation of creators from across Shropshire, with Rocking Horse, what you guys are making, the cast and the crew has grown and grown and grown. There are new features being developed, so that is what I'm excited about, and the legacy that you've created. So yeah, that's going to be amazing, I think.
Yeah, and I think on that, it's worth mentioning. I mean, you know, it's hinted at the end of the film there, and I won't get her up because you know she's only little and she's going to have probably years of having to do this. But obviously, Christy's like leaving us as Jess because she's busy. And she's obviously done a great job for many years, and this was really for her more than anybody else was to make sure that we gave you something you could actually say, walk away and say, hey, I've made a feature film. Whatever else, I've done that, which is what you meant to do 7 years ago. Might have took a while. We've definitely been round the houses, to say the least, but we're here and you've done it, and that's the main thing. But moving on from that, Run for Your Life and what that film was meant to be, the film that character was from, we haven't given up on that. It should be, fairly obvious from what you've just seen. But Betty Carter, who's going to be playing the new Jess as in the next couple of years as we move forwards, there is a long-term plan to get back to that film that started it all. So no one's given up on that. That's probably fairly apparent. And this care home drama series, all is did a great job listing all the various different types of people that it will help. And of course, within that as well, it will also include maybe a young girl with autism. So those two characters will be sharing a stage again. But obviously it'll be Betty's Jess, it'll be all as Izzy, and hopefully that will build us up to finally getting Run for Your Life made eventually. But we also knew that it was about time we grew up a little bit, and we accepted that we're not ready for that yet, and we're still not. But this has been a massive step in the right direction. But Run for Your Life, Izzy Orchard, Jess Andrews, the future should be fairly bright for him. So I'm sure you'll see him again. And when you do, their lips will move at the same time as they're speaking.
Sorry, just briefly, just in case we completely skip off it, could you tell us about the BBFC?
Hey?
That's right. Luke said, can you ask us about the BBFC? Just in case we didn't get him on the audio.
So the BBFC... we do have the thingy. We didn't have it up in time, but we've got it. The BBFC is the people you have to go to basically get any film classified, where the thing comes up saying like it's an 18 or it's a 15 or it's a 12, whatever. We shot this film all in 4K to make sure it looked as good as it possibly could. Credit to our DOP over there for helping bring that to life. AJ, all the way from London, doing his thing. So we shot it to such a high standard in terms of the visuals, in terms of the definition, that it was going to take until about this morning to upload it onto the internet, to then send it to the BBFC to get it rated. So late last week, I realised I would have to actually travel down to London in person, physically hand deliver our film to them. So that was fun. So I had to go all the way to Soho Square with about 24 hours notice to drop off this film and then casually come back ready for this. So we did that, and we finally got the film rated this morning. So that's been done. If it hadn't done, we couldn't have legally shown it today. So we got rated PG, which seems harsh, but it got rated. So it did all that, but full credit to them, because they do get a little bit of stick sometimes. It's easy to joke about the fact that they sit there and they get paid lots of money to basically watch other people's hard work, which, to be fair, is what they do. But at the same time, they couldn't have done enough for us. They bent over backwards to accommodate us, including getting back to us on a Sunday just a week before. 8 days ago, me and Luke was wondering what we were going to do.
Because their calendar, you automatically submit. Sorry, you automatically submit through their calendar, and I've done that with Unstable. I've done that with Reduced to Clear, because I tend to make films months before the premiere. That's not. And so that was all set. I added it to their calendar, and suddenly the next available date to get it age rated was tomorrow, which would have been a bit of an issue. And so we emailed them. We were stressing out about it. There is a certain loophole about getting local councils to age rate a film. We were like, maybe we can try and get Wellington Council to have a look at it. Like, what do we do? BBFC got back to us, said, we'll reorganise our schedule so you can get your film looked at.
So they were fantastic.
And at the end of the day, in the end, they did it this morning, and we got the age rating 1 hour before we showed the film. So
you see,
it's terrifying.
I did say on a live podcast yesterday we should have it on a board and have it paraded around like a boxing, you know?
Yeah.
Like and that got laughed at, but in actual fact, that was quite practical. We could have done that today, as you were saying.
Also, you didn't mention that your train got cancelled. You took Henry to London to get some photos done at the BBFC. Your train got cancelled. This man was stuck in a hotel just with a rocking horse because he went to drop off a hard drive to the BBFC.
Yeah.
So I hope I get some of that for the documentary.
Stuff now I'm not drinking. I'll never do one. I swear. Charing Cross with a rocking horse under my arm. One other important thing I think to mention is the whole crew deserve an awful lot of credit for everything they've done to make this possible. Lots of people who've done all sorts of stuff, and obviously most of them aren't on camera, but they all deserve an awful lot of credit. I occasionally, I know it's hard to believe that I'm not always a nice guy, but I can occasionally get a little bit snappy once or twice on set when we get into always like 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours, 14 hours. So that wasn't. I'm probably not always the nicest person to be around when I realised that we're so far behind, and I seem to either go from being the nicest person going to like Hitler. Doesn't seem to be much of an in between. Can I say that? Is that okay?
I mean, we can keep it in, but that's quite extreme. I understand.
14-hour filming days.
But anyway, the point is that they always, no one ever sort of took it personally. They always understood that we're all in this together. My assistant, long names up there, bless her. She might not look like the sort of person who can sort of like put someone in their place, but believe me, when I was like starting to like get moody, she's like, go and have something to eat, and she's great at that. NASA as well, who's up here, is the same. As always, like telling me when things are going well, when they're not. You need people around you who aren't afraid to tell you when things aren't as good, because otherwise, if people just say nice things all the time, then that's not always the best thing to do. So, full credit to them. That's the guys behind the camera. But I just want a special mention for these two superstars. Bless them. Obviously Betty mentioned earlier, she got it all to come, but these two. Especially one of them's like about a year pregnant or something, aren't you? What is it?
6 months.
That's close. But and what they've been having to do. I mean, all are signed up to be in a care home drama series this summer when university's out of the way. I clearly remember that being a discussion and an agreement that we had. and then suddenly she ends up being sort of. Have this sort of dropped on her, and it was initially going to be a scene or two, like a 10-minute thing. I was like, and then suddenly 10 minutes turned into 57 pages somehow. I just slipped on the keyboard, and it becomes a feature film. And and it never phased them. All is just like finished doing a show for uni, which she had a major part in that. And I didn't get to go because I was in Charing Cross Premier Inn, but everyone else went to support her, and she did a fantastic job. So that's like one version of how people can be really, really busy and not have the time to add feature films to this. I mean, I know some people who say, "Oh, do you want to go to the pub tonight?" "Oh no, I can't. Sorry, I'm busy." They made a feature film. I mean, in comparison to ordinary life, I think to add that onto already stressful deadlines, and obviously Christy's got a full-time job. She's got a 4-year-old she needs to bring up. We need to bring up. So there's that. And
what happened this morning?
What happened this morning? What happened today?
Well, not this morning. In fairness, just to show the reality of filmmaking, and we're all human, so that's not the reality check time. I forgot to pick my son up from school this morning. No, this afternoon. No, I took him to school. I forgot to pick him up this afternoon. I got a phone call at 3:30. "Gareth, what are you doing?" "I get ready for my premiere." And I was like, "But Ethan's still at school. No one's picked him up." I was like, So yeah. So that's why I need an assistant to remind me when I'm getting it wrong. So there's that. These guys have done fantastically well, but it's all very well saying about how they've worked hard, but it's not just about that. You saw it yourselves. I think I know I'm a little bit biased, but I think the performances of these two, of all the people I've worked with over the years in Rocking Horse, these are the only two that I think were ready to be on a feature film, leading as title characters, and you both did an amazing job. So I couldn't have done it without both of you.
Thank you.
you both play characters who have their funny moments and occasionally say something they probably shouldn't, and yet you somehow do it totally differently, and it just works. There's a contrast there, which you really complement each other, and it's just a shame we're not going to get to see it again. Really, not in the same way.
Never say never.
You know,
Never say never.
Izzy Vs Jess too. No, it's not. Let's not do that. But yeah, and as well as that, there's another guy who doesn't get enough praise, and he probably still won't, bless him, just because of the nature of the way the care home drama series is set up. But as good as Izzy's rants are, as good as that the humour that she brings to it, that flamboyance and how she makes people laugh, but none of that would work if it wasn't for her poor old sidekick, the guy who so often is there to literally just sort of give for like expressions of like, what did you just say? But he does it great, and it's a thankless task a lot of the time. Actors like to be noticed, bless them, and he is noticed by those who know what they're looking for. But ultimately, he's very, in many ways, he's got his own storylines coming up, but he's here to make this girl look good, and that's that guy there, Mr. Dean Raymond, yeah, there you go. Got a big round of applause than we did. So, but yeah, so we're, obviously we couldn't call the film Izzy Vs Jess versus Alid because it just wouldn't have quite the same ring to it. But he's got a very bright future, and we are looking forward to delving into some very good storylines for him as we get to the series. That's why this pilot is so important. If you can support it as we go forward in any way, whether that's been part of the crew, if you've been like Nigel, just pop it in to be an extra, whatever it is, in any way you can help, please do, because the pilot's going to be great, but we need to get to that series to really show off what the likes of Dean, what the likes of Quinn are capable of. Which we'll tease on with the pilot, but obviously it's only a start, so support that if you can. That's going to be with you at Christmas, but in the meantime, on the 1st of April, for anyone that isn't sick of Izzy Vs Jess, which is probably most of you by now, but if anyone that isn't that wants to support us, we've got another screening, and me and Luke are gonna have that conversation, and we're gonna be really magic and make the lips move at the right time and everything. Telford Priory School, which is it 7 o'clock?
Yes, yeah.
7 o'clock. And one thing that that I'm particularly proud of with that one, their own drama students, or at least some of them, that the school asked if they could be given the script for Izzy Vs Jess, so their students, GCSE students, could actually read these scripts and learn about these characters, learn about autism in a very different, creative way. Obviously, we heard Heather's absolutely banging poem, I must say, earlier on. Well done, because that was fantastic. So these drama students, they're going to be acting out scenes as Izzy and Jess in front of these actresses, in front of all of us on the night, which is going to be quite surreal and very bizarre.
You've got to just make sure you don't direct them.
Yeah.
Once more for safety, guys.
But Christy, along with some of the people in this room, will remember a time when you could fill the people who cared about Jess Andrews, and you could fill a phone box with them if you're lucky. Whereas now, we've got people who are prepared to sort of sell out cinemas and stuff, and we've got drama students coming through who might end up auditioning to be part of all as family members within the show, for all we know. They might come through and become part of the actual cast of that show, but even if they don't, the fact is that schools are coming to us and asking for us to help them teach about autism. That for where we come from, that means an awful lot. So we're very proud of that, and that's on weirdly after all of and I promise this is not intentional. For those that know me, might think it's some sort of dig. I promise you, it's not. Our final screening of the film, they said we couldn't make, is on going to be on April Fool's Day. So that's interesting. But yeah, April the 1st. So
it is really happening.
It is.
It's not just.
Honestly, yes.
It's not some prank.
No, yeah, genuinely, we will be there because it's after midday, and you can't do them after midday, can you?
We'll open with the audio, and then we'll play the video at the end.
Yeah. but yeah, so yeah, yeah.
Are you still looking for a Keith? Karen, sorry, Karen.
We are, but I'm not ruling out a Keith because one of the sort of support roles within the care home drama series is this character called Karen. We don't know what she looks like yet, so
or he.
She might look like you.
Yeah, maybe.
You never know. You never know.
Right.
But yeah, she's this no nonsense. She runs this care home, who is kind of a maternal figure to our main character. Izzy here, of course. So we've got auditions coming up on the 23rd and 24th of April. So hopefully we will see some of you. Not some of you because you're not, audition for Karen. That's weird, but we will be casting for Karen then. But if you know anyone who might be suitable, then tell them to get in touch. We might be able to squeeze them in.
To say thank you, to the folks at Comic Relief.
Yes, I'll let you do that one.
To Richard Curtis and Emma Freud, which is very surreal to say because Richard Curtis is like my biggest hero, the filmmaker I aspire to be, and his name's in the credits of our first feature film, which is very surreal. But to Richard Curtis and Emma Freud, I emailed them, not expecting anything. Emailed Emma, who's the exec producer of Comic Relief, the very top of that charity, and I said, we're making a feature film to raise money for Comic Relief. Any chance we'd be allowed to use your logo? And they, it went desk to desk across a national charity from the top to all the way down with the names Jess Andrews and Izzy Orchard, and they said yes. We signed a contract. You signed it in the wrong place, and we had to print it out again, and you had to sign it again. But we signed a contract that gave permission to use the Inada Comic Relief logos, and Emma has actually said last week in an email how proud of us they are and how they're really looking forward to watching Izzy Vs Jess. So they'll be getting that this week. Amazing.
And on that note, I think everybody that's involved in this deserve a huge round of applause. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And on that note, another guy that supports us all the time, constantly, and every 2 weeks he puts up with us on a Sunday afternoon, and he asks us all the right questions. This guy, who deserves an awful lot of, and he's on one leg as it is. I feel bad now for. Yeah, but yeah, he's been supporting. He supported obviously Reduced to Clear, the film you saw at the start. He supported that, and the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast and Horses and Biscuits. Every couple of weeks, we were on there talking about something or other to do with this production, this care home drama series, and obviously Izzy Vs Jess. And he's always supporting us all the time. Turned up on set and does vlogs all day. So yeah, I think this guy deserves a round of applause too. How do you clap with a microphone in your hands?
I know, I've been avoiding it. Bad audio, you know what I mean? Thank you very much, guys. I'm going to leave you with that.
Yep.
The biscuit guy. I mean, how best way to end this. But thank you very much for coming, and I hope you've enjoyed a great evening.